They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
We have such sights to show you.
Who's laughing now?
Not you crazy. I'll kill you all. Nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
They're here.
There we are. Here indeed.
Hello. Here we are indeed.
Not abducted in the slightest, hopefully.
You know, this is my first. I had a shot earlier, and this is my first one since.
Oh no! Is that a special?
I like the clear. I don't like the brown tequilas.
I'm gonna get you a better bottle because that is not tequila. That is a mixto. That is grosso.
Well, this was the cheapest one that I could afford.
What do you call it? I will find you one that's the exact same price. That's better. I promise. I will find it. That's
okay, cool. Now, because man. It's not price. Horrible, but it's just the price point is what I can afford. And I saw the Casamigos and I saw these other ones and I was like, man, I don't want to spend like $30 or more.
We have to make a Costco run then, because like it will cost like $30, but it'll be like 2 of those bottles combined. Okay. So it's like it's worth the volume, if you will, and it's much better. Like I think you're gonna appreciate the heck out of it.
Okay, sorry, there's a freaking fly in my studio. I'm so mad. I've been killing fly. I know this is not what we're talking about this evening, obviously, but I wanted to rant a little bit. I've been okay, so you know it's been super cold since it rained. It just, the temperature dropped insanely. And then, right after the rain, we had like this burst of like warmth. And then all the flies out of nowhere just decided to house themselves in my home. They're on my ceilings. Have you seen those little zappers? They look like tennis rackets. I've been fucking zapping the shit out of those fuckers like for the last 2 days.
Good, because they suck. I hate flies.
I know.
I can't think of a purpose that they serve, honestly. Like food.
I mean, unfortunately, they do serve a purpose, which is eating decaying and rotting things, which we also have ants and isopods and shit for, but still.
Because I say that because maggots will eat the dead stuff, you know? And if they just stayed maggots and never turned into flies, then I'm happy.
But unfortunately, they're larvae, or larva. Lava. Why'd I say lava?
I hate it so much.
I'm gonna have another one. Lava. Stupid.
But today, guys, to go along with clear alcohol, we are going to be talking about the very real and not transparent Anunnaki. Okay, they are absolutely real.
And I wore my alien shirt because we all know when we're talking about aliens and gods and shit like that.
What do you call it? They are 100% like that. That fits very well today because I bet you there's a race of aliens look just like that because it's like everywhere across the world that same look is in people's nightmares.
Oh shit! Did you? Okay, so there's something going around. Sorry, this kind of has to do with aliens. That in about 3,000 years, our bodies are gonna be basically scrunched like this. We will have no need for a neck because we're going like this all day anyway. We're looking down at our phones like this. And so our necks will just disappear. So we'll just have these giant heads, just like some fucking little aliens. That's how we start. That's how we evolve into what I believe is aliens are future us because time doesn't really exist.
So you're saying this right here? Oh my goodness! Just accept.
That is just a step closer to what the little green men are going to look like. This is 3,000 years of evolution from now to then, and then eventually we're going to evolve into these tiny little green men. But I think we'll be gray, to be honest, because we're going to interbreed so much that color is irrelevant and our bodies are just going to turn gray.
The color,
making all this shit up.
Color, I agree. Like it's going to disappear for some reason. Like you don't. It'll the purpose of like skin tone's going to defeat it, just because we have so much. What's what I'm looking for? We've conditioned the planet. Like when we were turning like different shades from the further away from the equator to closer to the equator, just because it was hotter to colder and sunlight. Right. And now it doesn't matter because we can all be inside all day long if we want to, or we can be outside as much as we need to. So who cares?
Exactly.
But I really hope we never look like this lady because that's
I know. Oh my God, it's so horrible. But I believe this is just the next step in evolution to get to the little green men with the giant heads with the tiny little bodies and they barely have a neck. I think that this, everything's going to eventually be implanted in our brains. Our brains are going to swell up with knowledge.
What do you call it? I have to agree with Charlie in the comments. I also don't have a neck really, so I already know what it's like to be evolved. I'm 100%.
Oh, weird. On my end, it just says Facebook user.
Because I put us on the Facebook group too, guys. So we are live on the Facebook page, the group, and on YouTube.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Redonkulous, yeah. But that is, I just checked on the Facebook group. That is Charlie. How you doing, brother?
Okay. Hi, Charlie. Yes, kind of like Mars Attacks. Maybe. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Call it. They had wonderfully long necks, though. Like it was, you could see.
Yeah, they had necks, though. See, obviously, this is definitely it kind of looks like a deformity.
I don't understand why the eyes are like that either. Like, what is going on?
I don't know. You know what? It could be the blue light reflecting off your phone and computers all the time. Your eyes just kind of.
This has got to be a parody because
I'm sure it is, but it makes me think. No, for real. Well, this is how evolution happens, right? Our environment kind of shapes the things that we do over time. This is 3,000 years. I'm telling you.
I don't think it will work that way because, first of all, text claw is not yet a thing. So I think they're just really speculating.
People are already having issues with having their phones like this in their hands all the time with their pinky. So a lot of people are talking about having like issues with their wrists and their hands being like fucked up.
Oh yeah.
So
carpal tunnel is a really big problem, especially when people started working as like desk employees got that really bad. Like it's everywhere. And there's certain stretches like to work out that tendons in your wrists going into the wrong area. It's a real thing. It's a very real thing. Every day we stray further from God. I actually have no idea what's going on. Can't hear anything. You're absolutely right. Though.
That's fucking crazy because I used to have, well, I still do. I have a really bad issue with like, I hear something and I don't quite hear it. And it takes my brain a little bit longer to process what I thought I heard. And it's getting worse over time. Like, I don't know if that's age or just like, I'm going to hell. It could be that.
So it's just the volume of the fire getting louder and louder.
I can't hear you over the hell flames.
Yeah, it's very difficult. See, why would we need second eyelids? That makes no sense. Ugh.
Yeah, that is weird. I already feel like I have second eyelids because I have hooded eyes. So those of you that have hooded eyes know. Like this skin folds over my brow, like under my brows, just keep going further and further down over my lids. And I'm probably going to have a procedure in my 50s to lift. Yeah, it's genetic. my my grandmother's brows were like right over her fucking eyes. Like you could barely see. I don't know. I think I'm related to the Neanderthals. I think I'm a descendant.
I think a lot of us are, because oh god, there was this. I forget what what YouTube channel I saw this, but it was like he tells like interesting facts and he does it in a joking way. It's really fun.
Right.
But he talks about his theory on why a lot of us would be descendant, because when, especially back in the day when everyone's living in caves still, they're on the move at all times. What's one thing that you want is someone who is strong, can protect you, can provide for you, and as animals, as much animals as we are, can ward off other suitors. So the Neanderthal were stronger and better built for that kind of stuff than our counterparts, the Homo sapiens in the beginning.
And their brows were lower so that when they get hit in the face, it wouldn't fuck up their eyeballs.
Like, I can still punch at you because my skull. So a lot of lady humans in the beginning were like, oh, I'm gonna go for this Neanderthal, and then a lot of the Neanderthal ladies are like, well, I can't get left out, so I'm just gonna grab all these Homo sapien dudes, and then everyone kind of continues to pass on the Neanderthal traits to a certain point. I think I definitely have that eyebrow. What do you call it?
The low brow that's like really beefy. Right
yeah,
here.
I hate it so much, but whatever.
This kind of actually ties in to our topic tonight, which is the Anunnaki.
Oh, it 100% does.
I mean, that's kind of like a weird segue, but it actually kind of does, because supposedly, before we get deep into it, I do want to mention that supposedly the Anunnaki created humans as we know today by using like Homo erectus,
yes,
you know, and mating with them, supposedly. So I guess we should just get started onto the beginning of that.
We're gonna have to, because this, I mean, if we're telling the full story, which I don't think we can all in one day, we're talking about.
There's no way.
We're talking 432,000 years ago, just from one source or couple sources that kind of give a decent timeline, because it's not recent. None of this is recent. It's so thick with knowledge, and it's unbelievably complex. And let me get this picture up. I wanted to. Oh, you guys can't see that well, but that is a Sumerian statue in the back, along with just this guy's rendering of what he thinks that they were after there. But there's so many different takes on the Anunnaki, and I've heard them called different names, like the Archons, and oh god, it's so far. Where do you want to even start?
Well, basically just what it means. So Anunnaki in Hebrew means princely offspring, which basically, according to the ancient Sumerians, was like they're gods. So En is god of heaven and Ki is goddess of earth, and together Anunnaki, basically together, like I said, just princely offspring. It's difficult for some people to differentiate whether or not this is like a creation story or an alien like takeover story. It's kind of up in the air with some people.
I definitely feel that, because it seems like you go either way, where it's like an ancient alien theory, or it's this is what God actually was coming down, and it was actually aliens. It wasn't a benevolent creature, which to us either way would be it would be able to destroy us no matter what. So.
Right. So Zechariah Stitchin, I hope I'm saying that correctly, wrote a book in 1976 called The 12th Planet, which is basically kind of his theory based on just the different evidence he probably found that had to do with, well, not even that he found, just, that had to do with the Sumerians and their ancient texts and like different things that they uncovered when they were studying the Sumerians, when they did they found, what did they find? They found like tablets and stuff with like ancient writings. So far from what I've heard, that's like the earliest writing, right? Or the earliest like the earliest written word, supposedly. I don't know if that's true, because who knows what was going on even before that, because like you said, it was like 400 estimated like 450,000 years ago.
Yeah, and that, like you said, it's the first earliest word that we even have too, because there's been theories, like, actually I wanted to touch on this one a little bit too, a little side note, like theories about the rainforest, that the same time that we had like London in the medieval times with like 50,000 people, they had cities all over South America that were the same size, if not bigger, that were completely washed away when the people were killed off due to disease, and we lost hundreds of thousands of years worth of information because of either collapse, burning of information,
War.
like war, one conquers the other. Like they talk about the burning of the Library of Alexandria, or the Dark Ages,
that's
or
so
hell,
crazy.
World War II. The recent examples, like whenever we have a book burning, because people just don't like them. It may not be as severe as it was back then, but like World War II, you look throughout all of Europe, and there's a bunch of files and documentaries and books and literature lost because they didn't have hard copies back then. Like they didn't have like digital copies. Everything was written down. So if it was burnt down, one second, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I do have something I want to say. What he was talking about shit being burned down. Oh yeah, there you are. It kind of reminds me. Oh shit! I had a thought on this. Oh fuck. Oh, it kind of reminds me of them like taking down statues now. Like I understand that they're controversial, and they, like back then it wasn't, but it is now. But I think that these monuments and shit should maybe not be torn down completely, but move them into a fucking museum. Yeah. Because just like there's a museum of like, oh god, I don't know where it is, but a black gentleman owns it. Basically like a museum of like all these racist fucking like toys and literature and just all kinds of shit. And that shit's not destroyed. We can't just get rid of whatever we think is offensive. Like it should be around so that it could be a talking point. It's important to keep those kind of things around, so that, because that's just what the Germans fucking did. That's what fucking Hitler tried to do. Erase everything so that it controls the mindset of people. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, the Museum of Racist Memorabilia.
Yes. Oh my god. I actually want to go there, as jarring as it will be, because obviously our history is horrific. But again, it opens discussion, and it's important for people to not forget what fucking happened, so that we don't continue or repeat the past.
Oh, 1,000%. There is, like, the same way that you could have just torn down the concentration camps, or you could have just completely wiped out where the massacre at Little Bighorn happened. You can't do that, because we need these things to remember how bad things could be.
And it's the same with fucking the residential schools. They just try to bury the kids and sweep everything under the rug. Oh, we don't know. They just died. We didn't.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that shit's getting dug up. And like we can't. Yeah. We can't let history repeat itself. Sorry, that was kind of a tangent, but it reminded me of that.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, these are the kind of moments, though, like it's not exactly the same because I think a lot of this history was lost just due to time and things wearing out.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
But,
everything I'm sure they wrote stuff on was like biodegradable. Back
Yeah,
then, they didn't have everything was fucking from the earth. There wasn't
Yeah.
a lot. There wasn't anything synthetic, so there's no way.
Yeah, you chisel it onto rock. Sooner or later, that rock is going to wear away. I
Right.
mean, the ancient Egyptians did a really good job of preserving these mummies, but there's so much that we did still lose in those situations. It's crazy. I mean, they have these elaborate statues, like in where were they? The Easter Isle statues, and they thought they were just heads for the longest time, but no, the Earth came back and claimed them
Oh,
and
God.
buried the bodies. So, like, for the longest time, no one dug around them because, like, oh no, they're just sitting there, leave them alone, don't mess with them. Obviously, makes sense. And then someone finally realized, like, what if we just dug around one of them just to check, and then there's more statue? I mean, it just
That's so crazy.
those entire cities in the rainforest. They actually thought the rainforest, or thinking now that all of that was purposely planted. It was all agriculture that they were putting down, like actual irrigation systems. Those rivers were man-made. And then
Right.
once the men weren't there anymore to upkeep it,
It just took over the natural way of life. And that's amazing. That would be amazing if we left things like that now.
Yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
what if technology fails us, or technology gets too far ahead of us? Because I think that's what's happening. We were not taught, like, just think of how this technology evolved over the past 20 years since we've been alive. I'm 34 on Saturday, and I've watched going from tapes to CDs to Blu-rays to fucking, like, nobody needs Walkmans anymore. They had iPods, and then iPods fizzled out. Like, holy shit, technology just keeps on going and going, and we're far behind. Like, I'm still like, holy shit, this iPhone, how 10 billion, like, whatever the fuck at this point. Like,
yeah,
man, I mean, I get mad at boomers for not trying to figure out technology, but I get it because I feel like it's progressing faster than they can keep up with.
It's so complex. Yeah, it's so ridiculously over the top. My goodness. There we go. You just think, like, from when we were kids, like, it's how important it was to be an organ donor, and it still is. Obviously, it still is. We are on the precipice of 3D printing new organs from your DNA. It's
stem cells can repair the cells that you already have. There's all this technology, and for the Sumerians, supposedly they were just a Homo erectus, and then the Anunnaki came down because so this is the theory from Zechariah Stitchin, basically saying that the Anunnaki came down because their planet's atmosphere was eroding, essentially, kind of like they've been telling us ours has been for, about 30 years now. And so they had to come down when they got close to Earth, and they needed people to mine our gold, because apparently gold is a mineral that will save the atmosphere of this planet Nibiru. But they come from.
That's another thing which we kind of take for granted, how amazing this planet is, that things kind of just fell into line across one galaxy amongst infinite galaxies in our area. Yeah. And that all the resources we need to continue to expand what we've been doing, that we had no idea we can do from the beginning of this, continues to happen. Like, we had no idea what gold was really for when we were, the ancient alien, before the ancient alien kind of stuff. We just thought it looked pretty, and now we can use it to send things into space.
Yeah, it's so crazy because, like, and I'm sure when the Earth was somewhat new and humans and civilization was new, I'm sure these people, there was gold everywhere. I guarantee there was all kinds of shit everywhere, and nobody thought about it because it's just like, oh, well, that's just. First of all, they probably were Homo erectus and didn't have the knowledge of the importance of these minerals, which the Anunnaki came down and gave them. But they're just surviving. Like, who knew this shit would be important?
Yeah, it's true. Like there's so much we still don't know about what we have right here in front of us, and to think of something that's so much more advanced to be able to have the foresight to make us here is crazy. Is a crazy thought in itself. Because when I was reading, it says that the Anunnaki had a different race of beings that they were using basically as a slave race. You know, not cool of them. But they ended up revolting, so they got rid of them all, and they wanted to make a new one. Is that
so the servants, the Igigi, as they're called in ancient Sumeria, Igigi came with the Anunnaki to mine for the gold, but they revolted because they were tired of these fucking conditions, and so they revolted, and the Anunnaki were like, according to this conspiracy theory, hey, we need somebody to fucking mine this shit for us, so let's take these Homo erectus ape idiots and just fuck around with some DNA.
So, yeah, make them less stupid, make them maybe stronger, maybe you know, give them a couple rules and a little bit more tools and see what happens.
And that is where the alien shit comes in.
Yes. It's also where we get, like, in the Bible, even where I don't know if it's like a chicken or egg, or if the Bible came first or these ideas came first, but they tried making different versions of us, and that's where you get like the Nephilim, which are the giants and the giants in the Bible. Excuse me one second, we'll be right back.
He's probably telling them to shut the fuck up. That's my guess. I'm fine with that. It's funny. But Nephilim is what I heard. Nephilim, it kind of sounds like Heffalumps and Woozles from the fucking Winnie the Pooh cartoon.
That is the original human race, the Heffalumps and Woozles. The Nephilim, the giants. They are saying that they're finding giant bones in the world somewhere. I don't know if it's real or not.
I don't think so, to be honest.
I would like. I want to be true.
That would be cool. I mean, at the same time, you can't deny that there were giant things in this world, obviously, because look at the dinosaurs. Look at the giant fucking sloths that Peanut and I were just talking about those giant sloths today, and how interesting, like how humans evolved. The giant sloths?
There's a theory that it's in Vietnam, or is it Vietnam or somewhere in between Vietnam and Cambodia, that there is.
You know what would be weird? Sorry, just a thought. I have to say it before I forget it. Wouldn't it be fucking weird or interesting if the giant sloths were just fucking Bigfoot?
That would kind of work out too, because like, it's not too dissimilar, like the walking and whatnot. The
giant hairy
kind of appendages, like arms, a little bit at least.
I mean, they're faster than sloths, but who knows? I mean, I'm sorry, I had to say it before I forgot about it. Yeah.
Okay, there. I was like, oh, you're breaking up, damn it. But no, okay, it came back. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, I think that's a really cool idea. It would make finding Bigfoot easier if he was that slow, though. I would really hope, at least. I hope we're not that behind the time.
At least get a good goddamn picture of him too, like where he's like posing slowly, right? But like,
what do you call it? So I have no good pictures to back up the giant human body claims, but I wish they were real.
Oh, right? But yeah, I was saying that how there were giant animals like the giant sloth and like dinosaurs and shit like that. Basically, like there could have been giant humans. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, why not?
And we don't know, because what if they were so like, yeah, they'd be so giant, but like maybe there was no way that they could sustain being that big, living that long. Because look at the dinosaurs and look at the giant sloth.
It's why all giant land animals kind of died out, because it just wasn't possible anymore. But that's why we still have giant, whales. We have sperm whales and blue whales that are so massive. They're like sizes of, or multiple buses long and whatnot, because you can do that
crazy.
in where water is less gravity and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
and where no disgusting humans could get to ruin everything.
well, we could get to them if we want to. We get to them tomorrow. We'll ruin it.
I guarantee we can't. Which actually brings me to something, another fucking tangent. See, this topic brought me to so many different things. That's why I don't think we're gonna get to everything in a full fucking episode.
Probably not.
No. There's so many like ideas sparked off of just this one thing. So if we can get out to space, why the fuck can't we get to the ocean? Isn't the pressure like almost the same? Like if you go out to space, like you basically like collapse in on yourself. That would be the same as if we went down to the ocean, right? The pressure would fucking crush us.
No. There's no
or
pressure.
Is that
There's zero pressure because there's no gravity.
Right, no gravity, but still, I figure, God, I don't know.
There's
I would think it's like a black hole where it just sucks in and on itself.
Well, that's why we can't go near black holes. But as far as what's the word I'm looking for? Gosh dang it, what's the word I'm looking for? As far as just being in space, it's the first time nothing's pushing down on you, which is why your muscles atrophy when you're in space, because there's no need.
Right. That's right. No, that was a dumb thing I just said. It makes me think, like, how can we get to space, push through the atmosphere, push through all that shit, and then not get as far into the ocean as we want? It's so, God, I swear, I feel that something's being hidden.
See, the deepest we've gone, the deepest we've gone is about 35,000 feet, and 40,000 feet is the furthest we've dug in down. And that would reach the bottom of the ocean, pretty much any point, the Mariana Trench, anywhere. It's just we can't do it in certain areas because of just conditions, like if the weather or the water patterns get too bad. But they've dug a hole in Russia that it was about 40,000 feet deep. It was just straight down, all they did, until they couldn't do it anymore. Because when you go down too far, it gets too hot, and it collapses in on itself.
Oh, too hot. Oh, because it's close to the Earth core.
Yeah, and that's not even that close, honestly. It's just because I think Neil deGrasse Tyson was on Rogan talking about this. Like,
God, I need to watch that episode then.
The distance from like the top of Everest to the deepest part of the ocean is only about 6 miles difference. So in about 2 hours, if it was just a straight line, you could leisurely walk that. You could literally just throw on a podcast and just like stroll if it wasn't for air and pressure and bad conditions.
See how crazy that we haven't figured out how to build a tunnel going all the way to the very, very bottom of the deepest part of the ocean.
I think it's for the best, because then we're gonna disturb Cthulhu and he's gonna get pissed. And then but
I don't know. Maybe the Anunnaki planted their fucking ships at the bottom of the ocean, and that's why we can't get there.
Maybe it's not even
because supposedly we are descendants of the slave race that they created to harvest their gold.
What do you call it? And that's
which is funny because I don't have a lot of access to gold, so I don't know who the fuck played that joke on them, but
you gotta watch a Blood Diamond. It's the same thing. Like, there's a bunch of people forced to dig for diamonds, but they don't get a lot of diamonds themselves. They don't get paid in diamonds. Really fucked up.
The most gold I've ever seen was when my mom worked for a jewelry like a jewelry kiosk at Sam's Club when I was a teenager.
That's pretty sweet, though. That'd be a lot of gold. All right, right now, the biggest gold mine on the planet is in Uzbekistan. And as far as production goes, oh, come on. Don't fail me, article. Load, because I think this would be really cool. It is 150 million ounces of gold so far that has come out of there. And the next biggest, actually here in the U.S., in Carlin, USA, is still active today.
Wow.
That is intense. So
Crazy.
I guess they started in, the ancient Middle East in Sumeria. I think that was like the where this all started, and they could spread over the entire planet if they wanted, collecting gold and making more slaves. Oof,
and you know what's crazy? Gold was very significant to a lot of different ancient civilizations that they put on the top of their fucking pyramids. And that's why people are thinking that maybe that's like a port or like a portal for the Anunnaki, because maybe it wasn't just the Anunnaki. Maybe like the gold at the top of the pyramids was like a little, I don't know how to explain it, but basically like teleportation site. Like what's an alien movie where you can walk in, not like the beam me up Scotty shit. Well, yeah, there's that too. Maybe
like a Stargate,
something like that.
The big old ring that they have, those shows, Stargate Atlantis, Stargate.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't really into the Stargate shit.
But that's just the idea that came to mind when you said that. I think that's what do you call? In my mind, though, when you say that, it kind of makes me think of like an intergalactic like lighthouse, where there's giant beacon that they can see from space. Like if they have the technology, there's a giant piece of gold there and it's kind of shining the way. Because a lot
as
of
big
theories,
as those pyramids are, and as much technology as the ancient civilizations were supposed to have had. I am not on mushrooms again, but I will be soon. Richard.
Wrong.
Richard.
Yeah, wrong, Richard.
Wrong.
What do you call it? There's a lot of like different theories as why like certain races will visit us. I want to go from the signing of the treaties right after the atomic bomb to like present day. I want to do it's like a 4-parter we'll have to do.
Because that seems to be like the most active
right
from
after,
like the early 40s, late 40s to like the 60s and beyond. A lot of alien encounters. A lot in like the 50s though. 50s and 60s, they made a lot of alien movies then.
Yeah, I mean it was in everybody's mind. I think once the atomic age hit, people started expanding what they thought we could do and what was out there,
I think that was influenced by outside sources as well, 100%. Though. I mean, outside meaning aliens.
Yeah, for sure, aliens. That's exactly what I think. And we're allowed to kind of see that a little bit more because they're like, okay, we got to get people used to this real slowly because they will not be able to handle it.
God, it's going to take about 50 years.
Minimum. We have to show them Michael Jackson's nose falling off. We
got to show them that movie Signs first.
Got to make sure Mel Gibson's in it or else it will not work. Shoot, all that needed to happen. I think
he hates Jews, but come on. We'll make it work. Promise.
Tiffany mentioned it. Mars attacks have to be shown so we know how to fight the aliens afterward. All that. We need to take steps before we just say there's aliens.
God, I still can't believe that fucking Jack Nicholson was in Mars Attacks. Like a comedy? Really? Well, he was in Anger Management with Adam Sandler. But
he's
aside from that, like, dude, that's so crazy. Why hasn't he done more comedies? I don't know. That's another tangent for me later, but
that's a conspiracy right there. Why are they hindering Jack Nicholson's comedy? These bastards. Goddamn. Yeah, why not come from above? I agree with that, Richard. That's exactly what I want to talk about. Like, back to the Anunnaki stuff. The idea of our planet being used as basically like a way station, because there are like theories of certain spaceships being able to power themselves with seawater because it has the right biodegradable products inside of it.
And not just that, we are pretty close to the sun. Maybe other planets need our sunlight because maybe their sun is like 1,000 light years away somewhere.
Yeah.
On another side of a planet that we haven't discovered yet.
No, for sure. Yeah, there's so many places that could have life, but we have no idea how to check if we have life there or not. It's a lot.
I don't know. I just know that it sucks that the government is making us pay taxes and also flaunting the fact that we are not the only beings on this fucking earth or in this fucking universe in our faces. That's unfair. It's like we should have. Oh God, it's just I don't know. I'm getting mad now.
Aggravating to say.
It is frustrating. Real quick before we get off this topic soon, well, we got a little bit of time. So the Anunnaki has a lot of biblical similarities as far as like their stories go, like with the Great Flood. I don't know if we mentioned it earlier. I think we did, but basically there was, according to Stitchin, who wrote the book that I mentioned earlier, he says that the Anunnaki knew about the Great Flood that was coming. That is also mentioned in the Bible and a lot of other like religious texts and in history. They knew that the ice caps were melting then and that it was going to result in a flood, which is just, it's just global warming. Basically, they knew it was going to happen, but they were so mad at the Igigi that they were like, you know what? We're going to let these motherfuckers drown. And some of the ones that were mating with the gods. So what did I write down? They allowed humans to drown because they were overpopulating Earth. And some of the gods were mating with humans, creating hybrids. And the Anunnaki didn't want hybrids, so they allowed them to drown, essentially taking with them a lot of information. But then the Ark was created, which it's called the Ark in the Bible. It was called something else in the Sumerian religion culture. But basically, they saved the animals to collect their DNA.
Kind of like we do with that vault in I think it's either Alaska or Antarctica. We have this vault with all the different seeds on the planet.
Yeah.
Just in case anything bad happens, which is a smart move.
And you know what? I've also been doing the same. I've been collecting seeds like crazy. I've been collecting dried herbs and all kinds of shit just in case. I don't know what's gonna happen, but
You've seen the grocery stores again lately? Something's weird's happening.
No, but yeah, they made the Ark to make sure that their their DNA was collected and preserved. And after the flood, they broke off into 3 separate kingdoms, which is interesting because this is kind of how Christianity is. Like they kind of seclude it into like not the whole world, just us. This is what, our world. So according to the Sumerians, they broke off the kingdoms into like 3 different ones, which is Mesopotamia, the Sinai Peninsula, and the Nile Valley Kingdom, which eventually turned into Egypt. So closer, like Middle Eastern countries, it's like not taking into account the entire world. Which, of course, if they weren't traveling, if they were an ancient civilization, they were probably just in their own little bubble. But, there's that. And then supposedly they built a spaceport at the Pyramid of Giza, the very tippy top, where I mentioned the gold. And that's where they have their port, and that's how they get from planet to planet. And they left after the flood, supposedly.
I would too. It would be a little too humid for me after that. I think it makes sense though that if the Anunnaki or if you call any alien, like if whatever group you think made us, if they had a group of forced workers in one area, they're not going to tell them about another group in another area. So their writing is just going to be about themselves.
Exactly.
It's like really messed up. But if you look at the concentration camps, they had no idea what's going on from one to the other. because you're not going to tell the prisoners what's happening.
Right.
It's the idea of keeping people separate in order to keep yourself stronger. The same way, like, what would be like when you're crossbreeding plants, you have to keep them in separate areas in order to see exactly how the experiment works here to over there. Now, obviously, plants don't talk and communicate like we do, but we found out stuff that plants can plan areas of life better than we can in a lot of cases. Like they have funguses that create these huge valleys of area, and then they die off, which allows other things to come eat them, and then it kind of the entire cycle again.
That's so cool. Did you know that we share an insane amount of DNA with mushrooms?
As we
certain
should.
kinds of mushrooms.
Is it because I eat so many?
Fungus, bacteria, fleshy bits. Makes sense.
Where on in the animal kingdom is fleshy bits? You tell me, sir. You call it.
That's for you guys to Google on your own time.
Yeah. But so they ditch us because of the flood and See, I don't believe overpopulation is a thing, because I remember hearing this thing where
I don't either, because so many people die and so many people are born at the same time. We just don't have anywhere to put the bodies because we're not. I don't know. There's a lot more people than there used to be.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
and it just,
you could take everybody right now and put them in LA and everyone would fit, not just standing there. The entire planet of people would all fit in LA standing next to each other. You could give everybody on the planet a 2-bedroom apartment and fit everybody in California. And it would be as packed.
Bezos, Rockefeller, who else? Even though they're probably not called the Rockefellers anymore. Soros. Who else is high up there? Musk. Johnson & Johnson. They don't want us to do that.
No, they don't. We don't want to do that either. I don't know if I'd want to live that close to everybody. I mean, it just, if it ever came to it, like we could all live in that area and it wouldn't be.
I'm just saying they don't want us to, be happy.
That is also true. But neither does like my ex, so it's all good. Overpopulation, 100% real in Texas. We need population decrease. Traffic sucks. Okay, so yeah.
Hey, you know what it is though? I guarantee, aside from the international shit, because Texas does have an international airport, it's a lot of the Californians moving to Texas. So sorry Richard. Yeah. I might move there, but I promise I won't change anything.
No, I will be voting how I vote now, and that's not California votes.
Unfortunately, and I will say this, and I don't give a fuck if anybody knows, I voted all Republican this year. And those of you that know me know that I'm not a Republican. I do not align with a lot of Republican values. But at this point, it seems like the left has gone, or Democrats, a lot of Democrats have gone so far over the fucking edge that I had to make a choice. And there were no libertarians on the fucking ballot. What is going on?
Yeah. There's like none, yeah. But you know what? It's because
I don't want the government involved in my shit.
No, 100% no. I agree. And very sad, but it's what we have to vote for right now.
So I will say that openly. I don't care. And I'm not drunk. I will say it just because I'm so upset about it. I voted the other day and I'm so fucking mad.
Yeah, especially in California, because if we vote conservative, it doesn't really do much in a lot of aspects, which really sucks. Because there's a lot of conservatives in California. It's just we're outnumbered by an even larger group of crazy people. And I will call them crazy people. I don't think it's progressive at all, a lot of these ideas. I think it's actually the opposite. But that's for another day. Yeah, see, Texas.
Yeah, and
Republican now. But it is what it is.
You know what I hope? I hope that if we really are a slave race, that the Anunnaki would just come down and be like, all right, you can come work on my planet. Let's go. And I'll be like, you know what? It can't be any worse than what I'm doing here.
You know, yeah, it might not be as bad as people think. Like,
they're gods, then they're not gonna treat you like absolute dog shit. I mean, if they're anything like the Christian God, then yeah, it might be fucked, but you know.
you never know. You never know. If it's the one with like the 6 arms or something, he's pretty cool, or she is pretty cool. So
Shiva?
I think it's Shiva. Yeah, Shiva. Shiva's the destroyer. Yeah, 6 arms.
Is that Shiva?
Is Shiva? Is Shiva?
Or is that Kali? Kali is the one.
No, you're thinking of Mortal Kombat now. Now you're thinking of the other thing.
No, I have to know. Hold on. We have a couple minutes. I have to know.
Shiva the Destroyer. Yep.
We might both be right.
I'm going to get the picture up because it's a really cool picture.
Oh, shit. Kali's got 6 arms, too.
So many arms. I'm going to get a picture, too.
She's blue and has 6 arms. All right, because I named my little kitty after her.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about the same one. It's just different names because it's different also names. Blue. Yeah,
well, Shiva is Hebrew, correct?
Hindi.
Okay. Yeah. And then Kali is... Ooh. Interesting. Shiva and Kali. Because I thought they were... Because I looked up Kali.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
I think it's the same, like the same way like Christianity and Judaism are to the same God. It's like just 2 different branches. So I think it's like that.
Yeah.
So
one of these days, okay, I actually want to make it known that one of these days we are going to do like what's his name from you watch Always Sunny? Charlie? Is it the one with the red strings where he's like pinning, like where he has like the...
You're talking about Charlie when he does the conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We have to do a Bible version where all of the different religions have the same story and we connect the dots to the stories in the Bible. At least, let's say maybe we do 5 stories and we can.
That's that's at least a 4-parter itself too, just like the one I want to do.
That's why I'm saying only 5 stories. Maybe
I don't know. I wouldn't want to skimp on that. That would be so good because it's so like if you go from the creation story from parts of Greek mythology to Christianity to paganism to friggin' Buddhism.
We need to get Marlene in here too.
I think she'd dig
because
that.
she would give us like a Mexican version.
If you look at Tichaclan, I don't know how to pronounce that.
I cannot.
It's very similar.
Oh God. Yeah. She could. Yes. Yes. Yeah. We can all do it because we can do Christianity. We can even pick our top 5 and then
work from there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
it's settled. We're doing that one episode
on offshoots of friggin' Christianity, which gets so mundane and so like in the weeds. Like, oh, of course I believe in Christ, but he only ate sourdough bread for the Last Supper. So that's what we believe in.
And he clipped his toes every Friday, so you have to do that.
That was part of the ritual for the Last Supper, you idiots. Why wouldn't you believe that you're going to hell? It's like, can we just agree he was a good guy and like he wanted you to be a good person? Like, that'd be really cool. But there's so many, the offshoots drive me crazy. So I'm going to leave that one alone for now.
That would be really fun. I would actually love to do that. So I'll write it down and then, we can get on that eventually. But thank you guys for watching.
Yeah. Thank you guys. And I think it's not, because Thanksgiving's coming up soon, guys. And we usually don't do a show on Thanksgiving. That's not next Saturday or not next Thursday, but the Thursday after that. I would love to talk, and I think Richard, you posted on there. There's a new Thanksgiving horror movie coming out. I believe.
I saw the turkey.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I saw the turkey, and not just that. Even if we don't do it on Thanksgiving, we will do a pre-recorded thing and post it.
Yeah, we'll do that. That'd be awesome. So we will see you guys next week for sure, and then we will talk to you guys very soon. And I think we'll have a topic for you guys very soon.
Yes, and I will give you a recap of my birthday this weekend.
Yes, please. All right, people.
34.
You'll have a good one. Lauren's going to go turn 21. I'm going to say that. 21. Finally, old
There's
enough
the
to be-
fly. I don't know. It made a cameo. I don't know if you guys saw it.
It tried. It really tried.
I'm gonna
All right,
get that
people.
bitch, and it's gonna be like a memoriam next week.
You need to put its head on a plaque and like hang it up in there.
Now I'm just gonna feed it to the spiders in my ceilings.
Nice. Oh man, I used to love doing that. I had a wolf spider, and like I'd catch little bugs and throw in its web, and that was awesome. I miss that guy.
Dude, okay. I know we want to cut this off, but I gotta say, we started a little late. I'm gonna tell you. So these spiders that have been chilling in my ceilings, I try to just get the dead webs around them and leave them. And so there's one in my windowsill that I didn't even know existed until today. So when I was zapping the fucking flies, I saw the little spidey up in the corner, and I was like, oh, this bitch is still twitching. So I grabbed it by its little wing, fly, and I threw it up right into the web, and the spider went. Yum, yum, yum.
The only thing I want more than another spider pet is a Venus flytrap. Because
I had one, but it died because so many bugs got in it. They just all clamped down, and they killed it. It killed itself.
Basically suffocated itself with too much nutrient. Oh man, that sucks. Because I want to get one, and if you get to a certain size, I remember seeing a video where they fed it a little meat cube, like really small, but it went like crazy big. Like the next day,
wow, gotta feed it. Okay, gotta feed it.
It's like a little piece. It was like a quarter of an ounce size piece of like meat. I think it was like a raw steak.
Wow.
So I was like, I want that.
Shit. All
so
right.
if I can find one, we should do like a that'll be part of the Patreon, like the.
Well,
the
they have them at Save Mart, so yes, please. Also,
oh my God,
I would love to do so many other things on Patreon. Lingerie stuff, by the way, for those listening. Hello.
I got a pair for myself too. Oh.
If we can hashtag lingerie Miguel, then we will start up the Patreon.
We don't need to do
We'll
that.
save it for next week, though.
But yeah, all right, people. You'll have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.